welcome back to the channel. This is Jana with Purl Together, and I'm here with Carolyn from chickencoopdyeworks.com. So she's the one that designed the Kwanzaa kit, which I had to have. So I'm not showing any spoilers here, but here's the box. Here's the box, and we'll talk about some of the fun stuff, and we'll talk about what I've unwrapped so far, which is only day one. But I'm really dying to open. I'm resisting ripping into the rest. But I do have a question real quick, and it's not a secret now that people have gotten their boxes or have started. My question for you is, I've downloaded my pattern, which is Amba O'Brien's pattern for the Orianna shawl. Lovely. So, but I want to know, can I start knitting with, I haven't opened the whole thing yet, or do I need to wait till I have all the colors and then like decide in what order I want things to be?
I would wait and open all of them, because you can decide the order of the colors, the way
progression. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of tempted. I'm like itching to cast on, but I also promised Amber I would finish 3 things before the end of the year, and I have a bad case of whips. But I have to say,
I would open them all first. Yeah.
And then decide,
and download and download the pattern so you can see where it's going. Because in a lot of instances you have to carry two hanks together, two cakes together. So
so I want to decide how I want all that to go and what things I want paired together.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Carol,
I will give you this. The way that I dyed this up, it's going to be rather obvious what pairs with what typically, but you will be able to do a little mixing and matching.
Okay.
Particularly with the secondary.
That just makes me want to
your secondary colors. Yeah. So
it makes me want to peek.
Yeah, you'll see.
That's exciting. So you've done a fabulous job. I haven't even looked at the yarn. I mean, just the one, but all the stuff that came with it, I felt like it was a great big treat, and it was so fun. So the first thing, the pattern that you get, right? So I downloaded that, and I've starting to check that out and make sure I understand all the things that go along with that. But let's talk about the makers that you collaborated with on this. I mean, well, first of all, let's talk about day one. Can we talk about the fantastic dye job that you've done here?
Okay.
This is day one, so not a secret. It's day one of Kwanzaa. Not a secret here. I'm not spoiling anything, but if you haven't opened yours yet and you want a chance to look away, do it now. So I love this. The colorway is Sunspots and Solar Flares. And this is your Little Feathers fingering yarn. Love it. 70% superwash merino, 30% silk.
And it's a single ply. And there's a reason that it's a single ply.
Tell me.
It's because the reason is because of the way that single plies pick up color. It's so much more saturated. And since you're going to be carrying basically 2 different colors or, 2 yarns at the same time, you won't have a pilling problem with it. So,
good to know. But I want people to see how lovely. And I don't even know if the light, if you can even, it's very, very yellow. It's yellowy, but it also has lots of other tones of, obviously you can tell that little starburst there, and it feels nice. I want to snuggle with it. It feels great. Yeah, good choice. 438 yards, 100 grams. That's good. That's good yardage. So this is day one. Love it. And I was saying that before we started recording, I was saying to Carol that I'm not usually a yellow person, but I like yellow mixed with the other things. So I'm excited to see where this is going. And I'm having trouble not peeking.
Yeah, I'm not a yellow person either. And what's interesting is I don't really dye a lot of yellows. I'll dye yellow as a pop of color with something else. Or if I'm doing like a very heavy speckle, it might be part of the background just to give it some lift or some warmth. But I think I have like one colorway that is a yellow. I think it's called wheat, and it's not like bright yellow.
That's more of a gold.
More of a gold. Yeah.
Right.
And this was you know, this was just something that worked, and I decided, okay, I'm going to go for it and see what happens.
So the other thing that we immediately saw when we opened the box was this really cool project bag. And the reason I like this so much is because it opens up and it sits flat, you know?
Yes.
So that way you can put your cakes down in there after you wind things, and that's brilliant. And it closes though all the way. And I can this is important for me, the drawstring closure. This is important because I have a new kitten in the house. We want to keep her out of the business.
Yes, yes.
So you said you collaborated with someone that made these for you, and you give a shout out.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I do. I want to give her a shout out. In fact, I collaborate with her on all the project bags that I throw in my kits. And this is a new design that we came up with. I have another bag that she does for me that has an elastic closure, but I wanted something very different. So this is one of the bags that I'm going to be carrying throughout next year, as well as something else that we're going to collaborate on. But her name is Melissa Todora, and she is located here in Dallas. And her company is So Secret. That's SEW-SECRET.com. I think that's what it is. But I'm going to send you the link to her shop, and that we can put it, you know, underneath in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and she does not only does she do the project bags, but with her own company, she does all sorts of things. She does everything from project bags to embroidery to other kinds of carrying things and t-shirts and stuff like that.
That's really cool. I like that a lot. And of course, you know,
it's got chickens, of course.
Yes. So what else should we tell people about?
You talk about the things that were in the little satchel.
Do you have any preference of in what order we do this?
Let's talk about, since we're talking about other makers, let's talk about the things that were in the red satchel.
Okay. And now, I wanted to say too, you always put a little bit of lavender in here, and for some reason I don't see where I set that down somewhere, and now I don't know where I put it. But there was lavender, so of course the whole box smells fine.
I've got some right here. You get a little sachet like this in every box, or every shipment I send out has a little sachet of lavender in it.
Nice. Let's talk about
things need to smell good.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is a shawl button. That will go with the shawl that you create. And it's reversible.
Yep.
One side is purple, one is magenta. Yeah. And magenta. There's a reason for that as well. And
it just unscrews, I noticed. It just unscrews really easily. And so then there's that leather disc on either side. And I'm assuming you just poke this through.
Just poke it through to hold it and screw it back into place. Very simple. Very simple.
Yeah. Nice.
That the maker for that, her name is Audrey Wilcox. Her card is in the back box. I will also send you her URL for people to contact.
Yeah, it's probably on the card here somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe
it may be.
But anyway, that's fantastic. So when I'm done, and I'm one of these people that am like fashion challenged, I don't know how to wear things, I can just twist it up and put the button on and I'm good.
That's exactly right. She does the shawl buttons and shawl cuffs. And then she's also a jewelry maker. So, and she has a lot of very interesting things. So, yeah, she does a great job.
And there was also this lovely little thing to help me, a little stitch marker with a clip.
Yes, that was for the crocheters, but also for us knitters who like to mark the front side of a
the right side row. Yep,
the right
keep
side
track.
Row.
Sure,
exactly. But I know the crocheters like the lobster clip markers for their work. So, and there's also a crochet pattern in there for the crocheters in the house. So I decided to include, the lobster claw stitch marker.
So that was in this lovely little drawstring bag, and I'm not sure what, I kind of might have mixed things up a little bit, so I'm not sure what else.
That was it that was in there.
And the bags are like this lovely satiny kind of fabric, and certainly regiftable, reusable. Love that. And then you have this other nifty silver bag that has some fun stuff in it. fun things. So this is for me to keep track of where I'm going.
That's
One of
right.
these little put it on your
Little
finger
roll counters. Yeah. Yeah.
row counter thing. Yeah, I've never tried one like this. That's cool. And then a little gnome dude ornament.
Yes, little dome ornament. Yeah, I like to do a Christmas ornament, and I wanted something that was
Go.
appropriate for this year. Gnomes are really popular this year, so
Oh,
like
I've always
yeah,
loved gnomes.
yeah, they're so cute. Yeah.
Now that I'll have to keep away from my cat for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
something she would like think it was prey and carry it around in her
Definitely.
mouth and hide it under the couch. Goodness, that's super cute.
She would just know that was her toy. Yeah.
Yes. And some lovely bling here. Lots of bling.
Oh yeah.
Stitch marker bling. Yeah, lots of those. Cool. Super cool. That oh, I just jingled that, and the other cat who's on the desk is like, "What?" And the handy. Can I just say all those were on this like giant handy safety pin thing?
And some people use those for shawl clips as well. You know,
right.
So
and there's like six big stitch markers on there. That's cool. That's a lot. Yeah. And then of course I have to measure how much I've knitted.
Of course.
And you gotta love the hand cream. Especially
oh yeah, we got some lanolin. That's it. Yes.
Triple lanolin hand and body lotion because it's wonderful. Dry. It's dry here.
Yeah.
So lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun little things in here.
Good. Yes. I'm happy that you like it.
Yes.
A lot of fun putting those together, by the way.
It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's all I'm able to open right now.
That's all you can open right now. You have to wait until tomorrow to the next package. One thing, if you notice on each of the packages, it has a letter.
Right.
And each one spells the word respect because it is based on.
So here's today.
Yeah, which is number 1.
Yep.
It's based on Aretha Franklin's song "Respect," which was the idea for this box, and also keeping with the Kwanzaa idea of community and family and just respect for each other, for yourself, and for everybody else in your community.
Yeah, and I wanted to point that out too, is that you included this handy card for those of us that are learning about Kwanzaa. I mean, this is new for me, but this is super. This is great because it tells me what the 7 days of Kwanzaa are about and the 7 principles and what that is, what the principles are, each one for each day, the theme for each day, if you will.
Right.
So I appreciated that because I don't know this. So
most people don't. A lot of people don't. I mean, I didn't really know about Kwanzaa until probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and it's not a holiday that we celebrate in and of itself. In my family, we celebrate it along with Christmas and New Year. And we deal with it in between. I mean, it runs in between Christmas and New Year's, and we talk about it. But really and truly, we try to live these principles throughout the year. And that's what's kind of important to us. It just kind of memorializes the way that we want to combat life. So,
right.
Yeah.
I think, and that of course fits perfectly with the Aretha Franklin lyrics, obviously.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's great. Yes, it was a brilliant concept for your, and then the pattern goes with it too, because it's all just so.
It's both the crochet and the and Amba's pattern use different yarn, different colors to blend into something unique, and you have to put them together yourself. You have to think it through yourself and use your own creativity, and it's just a blending of ideas and colors and differences, because you're using different types of yarn too together. So so it kind of fun. It ties in.
That's wonderful. So do you have anything you want to tell us about what you're working on maybe for 2021?
Yes, I would love to.
Since we're talking to you while you're sitting in your studio and you have some blank
I have
yarn in the
junk
back.
everywhere.
But
it's
that's
like,
the work
it's a
in
total
progress.
mess back here, but
No.
it'll get cleaned up.
But it's the work in progress, and you have a lot of skeins in the back that are just waiting to have color. And I'd love to know what you have on the horizon for.
Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to probably roll this out like in the next week or so. I'm going to talk with my IT guru buddy who it does everything for me, IT, because I'm like hopeless. I mean, I can do a few things, but I'm like, I'm not catching on as quick as I need to. So she helps me out. But I'm going to do 2 kits next year. And the reason that I'm going to do that twofold. I did the quarterly boxes, which did well, but the price point, I wanted to get to a lower price point for people. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have 2 different kits, and I'm going to do it as a subscription service, which will make it a little bit easier for people. The newest kit is going to be called Taste of Texas, and it's a stop kit. And I'm trying to decide if I will do like a 3-month subscription that you can renew over the course of the year, if I'm going to do it like 6 months at a time. That part I've got to figure out, or even just 1 month at a time. I've got to figure that out. But leaning towards, doing it for 3 months at a time, and you can choose to pay for it monthly or pay for it all at one time, something like that. But what you'll get will be a hank of sock yarn and something else fun. I don't know. That something else could be anything. It might be a shawl cuff. It might be a shawl button. It might be a small project bag. It might be a whole set of stitch markers. I don't know what that something else is going to be, but you'll get something else. And that way I can keep the price point, where it's very, very affordable for people. And they can still get a taste of, some nice yarn and have some fun with it, and, get a surprise in the mail, that kind of thing. But it's going to be called Taste of Texas, and each month is going to represent a region of Texas. So, you're going to get, North Central Texas, East Texas, West Texas, the coast, Big Bend, hill country.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Big Bend State Park, because I have hiker friends that go there in the winter.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's going to be called Taste of Texas, and it will run for the whole 12 months. Nice. And then I'm going to do the quarterly boxes again. This coming year, the theme is going to be called Elements of the Universe. The band or music behind it is the group Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Sure.
And it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. I got approached by, and I'll tell you more about this later, but I got approached by one of the knitting magazines, and my second quarter box for my quarterly boxes is going to be showcased in this magazine.
Oh.
I'll tell more about that in January.
Okay. So where should we be watching for this? Instagram, your website, or both?
Instagram, my website. I will do a huge blast out. I will also send you, Jana, more information about it. So you'll know too. But it's going to be all over Instagram. I'm going to have it on my website. I'll do a mass mailing about it, that sort of thing. So that's coming up. And then in July, I am going to be in another knitting magazine, a different one. And that one is going to showcase a particular base of my yarn. It's being used for a pattern. In fact, I can tell this one. It's Nomadic Knits, and the Texas issue is going to be in the Texas issue. So
nice.
That should be up in July. So
you have some big projects coming up.
I do. It's It's
Well, and
interesting.
you'll be
Yeah,
busy, and you actually do have a full-time other job also.
I do. And ironically, when I kind of got into all of this, I was working remotely and I've been called back into the office. I'm trying to get back to remote. I think that's going to happen, simply because of what's happening with COVID here
Yeah,
in the area. So I think I'll be going back remote soon. So,
yeah.
which helps because, I can have stuff cooking while I'm working, that kind of
Right.
thing.
You
So,
can kind of back and forth in different areas of your house, and
yeah,
it's not like,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So,
that does make it
anyway,
easier.
it does. But, it's still, it can get done.
But you have a
I'm not,
lot. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
lot.
it will get done. So
And then there's always the question, do you want to dye yarn full time?
I do. And my plan had always been when I started this company to start out doing it part-time, continue working and eventually, because I've been looking at, early retirement anyway. And I was going to retire and then do this full time. And I really thought that that's what I was going to do. Once COVID hit and I was working remotely, and it was
Right.
like, I don't even know if my office is going to survive all of this.
Right.
It was like, maybe I should think about retiring now. I decided,
Yeah.
one more year, another year.
Yeah.
So.
Stick it out a little bit longer and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I sense that you have quite a loyal chicken coop dye following from what I've seen on Instagram and stuff. So I think that people will be ready when you are.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And hopefully it won't be much longer before it's a full-time gig. So
Right. That's fantastic.
Because I tell you, I just love doing it. And I love interacting with the other fiber artists and people who customers, and I love the community. So
yeah, and I think that it's becoming more of a community than ever before. And I think if there is a silver lining at all to COVID, then it has. I think it has allowed people to meet virtually, and then maybe we wouldn't have otherwise.
That's right. Absolutely. Once you start this virtual reality, this virtual world, the world gets much smaller.
Right.
A year ago, I would never have thought about reaching out to Amba for this pattern. I never would have. And I was like, she's just a click away. No harm in asking.
Yeah,
and so I did. And this is what happened. Yeah.
That's great. Well, I hope all of your subscriptions and your kits do well. We'll put the links to everything where people can follow you on social media, as well as your website. Sure. Put all that below. And people can, do you have a newsletter? Do you have an email list people can sign up to be on as well?
Yes. All they have to do is they go to my website and get on the contact list. And
okay, great.
I promise everyone that I do not bombard you with a bunch of spam. The only time that I send out a newsletter is if I have something really to say. And typically that runs about 3 or 4 times a year. I do announce my boxes as they come out and tell you what the theme is and what's in them. And then if I do some craftivism, if I'm doing if I'm doing something for a particular cause,
right,
fundraiser or whatever, I might send out something for that. But I'm not going to just, hey, I've got a new colorway, come and buy it. I'm not going to do that to you. If you want to see that, go to Instagram. I'll show it on Instagram, but I'm not going to hit your mailbox
all the time. Right. Yeah, definitely. So it's worthwhile to sign up for it because you only email a few times when there's something you want to.
Something worthwhile to say.
Yes. Right. Absolutely. That's great. We'll put all the links to everything down below.
Okay. That sounds good.
Right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.